Welcome back to another episode at the Happy Clients podcast. Today, we are going to really just give away our 7-step hiring process. So over the last almost 4 years, we have been really figuring out how to find premium, basically unicorn status account managers. And we've really cracked the code on our own hiring process. So in today's episode, you are going to hear every single step, every single detail of how we hire amazing account managers. So let's get into it.
Welcome to the Happy Clients podcast, brought to you by Dot & Company. Whether you're a virtual assistant, an agency owner, or a client-facing account manager, we all deal with clients. Lucky for you, client management is what we do best. Now, let's dig in, chat cam life, and have some fun along the way. Cheers to Happy Clients.
Let's talk about our hiring process, because Katie, you are the one who kind of oversees this entire process.
And I think it's really easy to list off the job description. This is what we're looking for. And then there's kind of like go-to qualifications and credentials. But I think it's really important to understand the role and what we're doing with client account management and how we can offer that expert service, kind of like we were talking about. So it does take a while. There's many steps, but we do get to these really awesome candidates that can deliver not only to Dot & Company, you call it Dot Vibes, but they are really beneficial pieces to any agency, wherever that might be. So we are everywhere. We've tried it all. But I would say there's some heavy hitters. And as much as I hate to say it, Indeed is always at the top of the list. So Indeed, all socials, LinkedIn especially. And then also we run ads. So we are on Facebook and Instagram, kind of promoting hiring. But, I always ask our potential client account managers, where did you hear about Dot? And it's always, I read about it somewhere, usually on Indeed, visited your site, got served the ad, and all those layers coming together are so important. You can't just post in Indeed and think that it's going to win the race. Posting Indeed is just such a really awesome platform it sounds like a promotion for Indeed. Indeed is such a great platform to reach people. And then kind of once they're in, then we have the tools and the nurturing to really get them to apply and feed them ads and get on our list, hopefully, and all that good stuff that we have. So top would be Indeed, but not Indeed standing alone. Top, Indeed, Instagram, Facebook, all the things together.
And then it goes to an application.
Gotcha. Exactly. Okay. So in those posts, there's a landing page that people go to, which is specifically for client account management hiring, and they get all the details. And then the link is there as well to kind of fill out that application.
So inside the application, what are the things that you're looking for? What's important when hiring a really good account manager?
So we're kind of getting a feel for it, right? We want to know if they have marketing experience. We want to know how many years of digital marketing experience do they have? Do they run their own business? Are they self-employed? Those are good questions for us to get a feel for, because it's a balance for us. We love that independent, that entrepreneurial spirit, but also want to be top priority in people's lives. So we kind of need to get these details too. So marketing experience for sure. Are you working for somebody right now? Expectations on salary and start dates are always important as well. But I would say definitely we want to not only get that marketing top or sort of on our plates or out of the way. We want to know that they have marketing experience. And then we do kind of dive into these digital marketing questions that are a little more detailed. So not only do you say you have marketing experience, but you actually are kind of answering these questions that clients bring up in a really sort of client-facing way.
So ad application. For context, we get over 600 applications a month to work here at Dot. So you can imagine this is a beast. Then what comes after the application?
And I will say by default, some of those 600 are just going to not be great candidates. If you don't have experience, if you don't have the right experience, if you kind of flunk on different questions in the application, we are going to that's how we get to the unicorn status, right? So after the application, we have an awesome automatic sort of communication that comes from our team, and they're sent the assessment, which is definitely more in depth, more details. And I think we could probably go through it all for sure. It's a really great tool. I know the reason why we do this is because we need to see that these people are really invested in Dot and Company, moving their career forward. This is a remote job that requires people to be kind of self-led, self-driven. You need to get up and do it all yourself. We can't micromanage you, nor do we want to. So we have to really see that these people are moving quickly. They want the application, they want the assessment, they want to work for Dot and Company. And I think by the time they get to the assessment, that's where we can really see not only kind of how their experience fits into the role, but also kind of their love and their zest for wanting this role. If you have the assessment for 2 weeks and have had no movement on it, we don't really love that. So, if you get it and it's back to us the next day, that's a great sort of cue to us to really see that you're doing your part. So when you're in front of agencies and when you are working with different clients, we really have that loyalty. But that sounds like really sort of mafia or something, but that sort of we have that really great trust in our candidates that they want this job. They know what it entails. We've been so transparent through this whole thing, which brings us to assessment and then, green light go, CAM school, which is pretty cool. So we're really showing our cards at this point. We're all in and we want our CAMs to be too.
Yeah. So ad, application, assessment. Then they go into CAM school, which is our client account manager school that was developed to train our own team. So they get access to that. And they also get an invite to interview with Katie. So interview number 1. By interview number 1, they have to have module 3 complete. Is it 3, Katie? Yeah.
We just started that actually. I'm going to pause this, put a pin in this, but go back to the assessment where we actually ask for videos, which I think is a really important thing to acknowledge. So we asked 2 questions and they're to give us a Loom video, which I think shows how they present much like this in a Zoom call in some sort of client-facing environment, which is nice when we don't get to meet people face-to-face all the time. So video is super important.
That was really crucial.
Yeah, I think it really lets us just get to know them more and that trust can keep building, but we can really see how they would be on a client meeting or an agency meeting, which, we're not there in the background. So it is good insight for sure.
So then interview number 1 with Katie
Right.
while they're going through camp school.
I was
So
like,
Katie, these interviews are like 45 minutes generally, and I watch them so I know exactly what happens.
So then module 1, 2, and 3, they're again kind of doing the work, leaning into our take on digital marketing. Of course, we want them to understand marketing, but this is kind of how it works in the account management world. And then, they're giving us assignments too. So we're seeing those sort of written communications, more videos above and beyond. There's all these things we're looking for. Do you have Doc vibes? Do you understand that we kind of communicate in a certain way that clients and agencies love? So there's kind of subtle pieces of those, I would say assessment, but also of CAM school that we want everybody to really absorb. And I think you do that when you're all in and you're excited about the interview and you're doing all the things that we love to see. So maybe even Taylor, if you want to take your perspective on what maybe sort of happens in CAM school or the next steps, they have an interview with me. I'm doing a gut check for sure. I want to make sure they're professional. They are kind of checking off all our boxes. They're doing CAM school. Then they're over to Taylor. And what are you looking for on that interview, Taylor? They're mostly done CAM school. They're, 99% in at this time.
Yeah. So Katie's interview is like the first step into meeting somebody at Dot, like face to face. And she's looking for like all the things, making sure they check all the boxes, gut check. But if she has any reservations, she's going to let me know. And then I'm looking for those on the call, whether I agree or disagree. And it kind of happens, we generally align, but like sometimes I'm like, no, I think this is fine. Or yeah, no, I don't think this is okay. So I'm looking for things like, how are they showing up on the call? Are they professional? Do they have the experience? And what I'm really looking for is, can I put this person in front of an agency? And if they don't have the experience, if they are not confident, if they can't speak to results of clients and all these things, then it's going to be a no. And it's fortunate, even if these people are amazing and this happens a lot, they're amazing people, but they don't have the experience that we need to put them in front of agencies. So that's really what I'm looking for from a sales perspective. And then, of course, kind of making that final decision, like, is this person going to fit with our culture or not? Like, would I want to sit down and hang out with this person? Yes or no? And really, that's kind of my final gut check. So at that stage, they've completed up to module 5 inside Camp School. They have to have submitted some assessments. So I'll also check in with our team and say, like, how did they do on the assessments? How are things going? We have 4 or 5 of us who are working on the hiring system. So like before anyone gets hired, they've touched 5 different people's inboxes and they've, had to get checks from everybody. But then after that final interview, my next steps are, okay, you must finish Camp School. You have to pass. And then Katie will kind of take it from there in terms of hiring next steps. So this process generally takes 4 to 8 weeks.
I think it could be tricky. If that candidate isn't currently working, they could just crush it in, 3. We've seen it crushed in as many as 2. But yeah, I say that 6 weeks is a good average of time that this takes, which we're into. Like, we have this in our process. We get it. It's not an overnight thing, but it's because we're putting really smart, really great, really expertise-y type people in front of digital marketing agencies. And I did want to make the point too, like, this isn't something that is turnkey. We're not grooming people to be all the same sort of person. I think what we're doing is deciphering that these people can work in an agency, adapt to different sort of moving pieces, and really have the confidence to speak to the marketing piece. That's why we love to see the marketers come through, because clients love it. Agency owners don't want to have to run through business manager, Google Analytics every time before a meeting. We understand that. So there's things that, we bring to the table, but it's not turnkey in terms of agency and culture and what you're doing. We know the systems will make a process, but there is a curve that the CAM that's coming into agency is learning with other team members and how to improve and strategically thinking about managing business or the working business even that much better. So I think that's important too. We're looking for skills. It's not all the same person. It's not all the same avatar. There's different skills that can really benefit different agencies.
So if you're in the market for an account manager, there you go. That's our secret sauce. It's not short. It's very long. It's a lot of hands in the pot. But I mean, if you're looking for somebody that's going to be managing your clients, you need to go through this much effort. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Happy Clients podcast. Hopefully you learned lots of good stuff and took some notes for hiring account managers for agencies. If you are looking for more support when it comes to hiring or training or anything in between when it comes to account management, definitely head over to .andcompany.co and learn what we're all about.
Cheers to happy clients.